want to just go to like to a different avenue here, which is you spoke about families, because I really feel like that is a huge piece.
Yeah.
So if someone is in a state of trepidation or feel internally paralyzed to come forward as who they are, I would imagine that a big part of that is connected to culture, connected to family,
Religion.
religion. So this is the big stuff to me: culture, family, religion, and how that affects people when it comes to living their truth, or when it comes to and I'll use your wonderful coming out happy. How do they experience that? And even like just from country to country and state to state, I would imagine somebody who grew up maybe in the deep South will have a very different experience than somebody who maybe grew up like in New York, right? Or if you're growing up in a predominantly a very religious country, whether it's a Christian-based country or an Islamic-based country, right? So do you see a lot of that? I mean, what in your experience, different types of people from all different cultures and all different backgrounds, and do you see that within them? Like, is it obviously more difficult for certain demographics than others?
Yeah. I mean, it is very difficult for a lot of people around the world. And I just want to say, coming out safely is a privilege. It just really is, because of different backgrounds and cultures and everything like that, depending on how people grow up, where they grow up, all around the world. I mean, in a lot of different countries, it's still illegal.
I pulled, actually, before I came on this call, I thought it was really interesting learning a little bit more of like people that are navigating not only just maybe coming out with their sexual identity, but also coming out with their gender identity and the layers, right? We've talked about the intersectionality, the layers, the different identities and the lived experiences. And really what I thought was so interesting is that 40% of it was queer, BIPOC, transgender adults have attempted suicide in their lifetime. So that number is almost probably, I think what it said, 4 times higher than the average person. And it's like, when you add all these different pieces of culture, right? Religion, your identity, your racial identity,
Feeling
your
like not
economic
status,
status,
family. I mean, all of that.
it is so difficult. It is so difficult. And we can only speak from, our point of view, and I think we're very privileged to be able to have come out, right? And although, I experienced growing up in religion where I didn't feel accepted and it was really difficult, I know that it has been so much more difficult for someone that's also navigating so many different identities as well.
So it's definitely just really, really difficult. And, we will never be able to say that we've been in other people's shoes who were kicked out or who were just completely isolated by their families. Like, we are very lucky that I'm just privileged to have not had that, but we're here to support in any way. And luckily there's so many different companies and programs, and I guess it's like nonprofits that are there to support LGBT youth who are going through that at a really young age, getting kicked out and are homeless and everything like that. So it is just really, really sad to see that that's going on, and just working towards a future where it doesn't have to be like that anymore. Like, that's the goal for everyone. So
I'm curious, what if you have someone who's really, really struggling, what you guys do for that person, say in a group, if they're really, you can see that there's the life coaching is a beautiful offering, and like you said before, the therapy is sometimes needed. Do you refer them out? How does that work for you?
Yeah, so depending on their situation, because every person's situation is different, depending on their lived experience, if we see that a therapist would be better suited for them, we say, you know what, like, I don't want to not be able to support you in the way that you need. So I think it would be better for you to see a therapist. And there's, just such beauty in getting the support that you need. So it's just so beneficial for people to get that support. So of course, there's definitely resources for other people who understand them or can help them even deeper than we can.
And sometimes a lot of people want to learn from people that share the same identity, and sometimes we can't fully relate. And so I think that's a better fit as well. Every single thing that we do is person first. And we want to make sure that we're able to support people in the way that they need. And if we can't, we're going to give you the best recommendation that we know of, because we just want you to feel supported and we want you to feel better and confident and just seen.